All right, welcome everyone to the I think 15th or 16th something. I gotta get
400th,
that.
right?
I never remember episode of the Member Success Series, Align for Success. And we have two amazing guests with us today, Tanya and Damien. I'll let them give their little let's do the fun facts again. I'll start. My name is Sue Brooke. I've been a member on Alignable for many years. I've been on the Alignable team for the last almost 5 years. My 5-year anniversary is coming up here in September. And let's see, fun fact. Oh my gosh, I was a fire baton twirler in high school. There you go. I twirled fire baton. Chuck, my co-host of the day. Let's hear your introduction and fun
Oh
fact.
my goodness. Okay. So you guys know I'm the head of PR here. So I do a bunch of surveys. So if you've ever taken a survey here, it's been something that I've turned into news to amplify everyone's voices. I started and run the contest every year. So that's how most people know me here. And, in general, I'm a small business crusader. That's what's in my bio, and it is 110%, 20%, 50% true, 150%. Because I came to this platform and I said, you know what? I'm a small business owner and I know a lot of small business owners. I know a lot more now, and they don't get half the credit they deserve. So
Mhm.
we need to make sure to recognize them in every way possible, and that's how we have the contest. So that's my fun fact.
Love it. All right, Tanya, go for it.
So, a fun fact about me, and a lot of people do not believe this, but when I was in high school, I could not get up in front of the room or anywhere and even speak. So, when it came time to do an oral report, I would miss school that day and take a zero because I literally just could not do it. I was so shy that I couldn't speak.
Oh my gosh, I was really shy too. I don't know if I skipped school, but I was terrified, terrified. And now what? We're both speakers, right?
Exactly. Exactly. So rather than looking at failing, you could succeed.
Oh wow. So what's your business, real quick?
So my
One.
business is Gossage Consulting, and I help you turn your network using your phone or your computer into high ticket clients without relying on funnels, ads, and overwhelm.
Oh, very good. I think everybody's gonna go, I want to know more. Damien,
Yes.
fun fact and about your business. Let's hear it.
So, fun fact about me, and I've said this before, is if I had to challenge a police officer on a sobriety test, I could tell him, let me pull out my big inflatable ball and let me stand up on it, and if I can stand on it, can I leave instead of getting arrested for the DUI?
Oh my God.
And
Okay.
I can actually turn it around 360 by bouncing until I go all the way around and end up in the same starting point.
Do you have a video of this?
You know what? I've never recorded the video. I've shown it to people because in my past, well, still kind of my current world. I was I did personal training, and so that's how I developed that skill. But anyways, so
Interesting.
but my
Okay.
current company is called Social Gong. It's a specialized marketing agency that the primary objective is to help people do what I see happening here different, right? Is they have an account, but they're not doing much with it. It's kind of dead. There's no banner, no picture, not much information about it, no website, no way. They make it impossible for people to get a hold of them and know what they actually provide. And so my goal is to turn that around for them. And
Uh,
so yeah.
I love it. You're like me. It's like, oh, someone you see somebody's profile and they have nothing on it or their website. And I always remember this one event I was doing with this lady that wanted to speak, and I was like, I got to get a hold of her, and I couldn't. And she was supposed to be this person that was this marketing person, and I couldn't find out how to get a hold of her anywhere from her website or anything. And it was like, you've got to be kidding me. She's out, man. I couldn't figure out how to even email her. It's crazy. Anyway.
Yeah.
Good, Damien. I love that. All right.
Thank you.
Want to kick us off, Chuck? What's our first big question we can ask these?
The first big question is going to Tanya.
Okay.
And I just wanted to ask you, what's your success story on Alignable? Give us an idea of, how much your business has grown and also a tip or two along the way.
Okay. So I have a couple. So I came on Alignable 4 years ago. And when I first came on, I was like, what is this thing? Because I wasn't sure how to use it.
Right.
So I attempted it. I got off and I hear all this noise about Alignable. And I was like, okay, there's something there. So I came back and I was determined, Chuck, I was going to figure it out. So I came on, I started watching videos from Sue.
Right.
And I was like, this time I am not leaving. So I started interacting, started attending events, and just poured myself into training videos. What training videos were there? It's not anything like it is today.
Right.
But I was determined. Then I was connecting with people that didn't understand. And so I said, I'm going to start teaching other people because that's the best way to learn. So I started connecting with people and teaching them how to use the platform. That's how I learned. But then I really started connecting with people that I could help even further than that. So I built up about 80% of my business on Alignable. Then I had to take what I'll call a significant break because my dad got sick and I had to caregive for him. So I basically had to end my business for several months. And so then I wasn't doing anything. But here's what I love. And I'm going to call this a success story, but I have something else I want to mention. When I left, the people on this platform are your family because they didn't leave me. Even though I left, they didn't leave me. They continued to check on me to see how I was doing. And so when I came back, I wasn't doing 80% of my business, but now I've built back up and I've been back since October. And so I've built back up to almost 60% of my business now back on Alignable just since October.
Wow.
But my success stories are I've met someone through an event and worked with that individual, and seeing that individual, I don't want to get emotional, but seeing the growth of that individual in their confidence and being able to rework pricing for that individual, rework other things in their business using automations and tools and things, and being able to see them get invitations to become a leader within the platform. And those types of things are just so rewarding. And it starts with a relationship. And to me, there's more stories than just that, but
Right.
that's the one that stands out to me the most. And just being able to coach that individual has just been very rewarding.
That's fantastic. And that people didn't leave you.
The people did not leave me, and they are some of my very best friends on this platform today.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's like making
Is
me
that a
cry
great
because
story? Yeah, no, that's a great story.
Yeah.
it is. And that's really alignable, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
literally, if my best friends are here too, if something happened, I know that everybody would do the same thing to me. Thank you. That was a great story. Thanks.
Never left me.
That's
Never
a
left
great
me.
story.
All right,
That's
Damien, let's hear
super.
yours. Oh, that was
So,
great.
so I want to highlight the beginning actually of my of being the success story part of Alignable, because so this is the interesting thing is that I don't know when I actually got in on Alignable in the beginning, but I got on and I didn't do much with it and kind of disappeared from it. And then I met somebody through LinkedIn that eventually we connected, met at an in-person event that I invited her to because I thought it would be a great event for her. And so we reconnected there, and she brought a friend, and that friend was the one who said, "Hey, are you also on Alignable?" And then I remember, I was like, yeah, I remember that thing.
Yeah, I
And,
used to be. Oh, now I am.
and so she told me she was having a lot of success on Alignable. I said, well, maybe I need to get back on Alignable and figure out, what I need to be doing here. And so, you know, I was starting a new company at the same time, which is the company I now promote on Alignable. So I also wanted to, go into another avenue where I can meet new people that are likely not on LinkedIn or any other platform. And I realized that, yeah, that it absolutely fulfilled that goal, right? And so, but I think probably the most interesting part of it is I was just launching my company and starting to build my network here on Alignable, and I had no clients, and my first client actually came from Alignable, and this is probably the best part of the story for me is not only did I land my first client, and they were a client that's abroad, but they weren't even local. They were based out of Canada, so I went like international on day one.
Great.
Wow.
So,
That's
so that's my story, I'm sticking to it.
I love that. Oh my gosh, what great stories. Okay, so wow. Okay, so you two are both now you went from these stories, and getting started on Alignable, and now you're both ambassadors. So how did all that happen? Let's start with Damien this time.
Well, that's interesting because I was getting requests from people, and then I was sending connection requests, and then I was seeing suggestions of people I should connect with, and then I saw one person there, that on her name, along with it had the title, ambassador of Alignable, and I thought, well, that's interesting because I've actually in my original world, in my original business that I started in 2008, I started networking in the community through the Chamber of Commerce, right? And that was my first experience with hearing somebody say they're an ambassador, and I'm like, okay, what is that? And then when I started asking people, I'm like, okay, so this person is not getting paid to do this, and they're volunteering for this organization, and they have faith in that this person can stand up in front of a podium and you know basically represent the Chamber of Commerce. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. So when I saw that was something here on Alignable too, I reached out to the person that had that title, and I said, what can you tell me about the ambassador program? And she sent me a link, and then I looked at it and I read, and I said, okay, this is a world I'm familiar with. I should apply and see if maybe they accept me. And so here I am.
I love it. How about you, Tanya? How'd you get here as an
So
ambassador?
for me, I came from the world of banking of 34 years, and I was so used to leading people and mentoring people, and I was the director of training. And so when I left, that was a significant piece that I was missing when I started my consulting business. I basically put myself in a similar position, but I was missing the event piece and the training piece and that type of thing. And so when I heard about the ambassador piece and having the smart connects, and during the time that I took that position, or that opportunity, COVID was taking place. And so there was no in person, but again, it was all virtual. So it worked out fine. But I had a significant interest because that was going to help fulfill something that I was missing and a need that I have, because I love people. And for me, if I can lay my head on the pillow at night and say, I helped somebody do something and they got a result from it, then that fulfills me. And so when I heard about it, I was immediately all in and interested. And so I immediately applied and got involved.
I love it. I don't know if you guys know this, but back way before when I still had my school, actually, no, I was living in Northern California and I'd gotten on Alignable. There was nothing on Alignable, and it was still just like an advice column or whatever. And they put up this thing that said, do you want to be an Alignable leader, something you had to, you would get this special badge
Local
to be, and
leader,
they called it
right.
the leader. What was it called? The
I think it was the local leader. I
local
think it
leader.
was. Yep.
Yes, and to be a local leader, and this is way, I mean, I was just new. Chuck and his kitty cat, that's funny.
Sorry.
I used to have a kitty, but he passed away. But anyway, but I remember it saying, do you want to be an alignable local leader? You have to host this many events, and then you have to learn about networking, which I was a networking expert by then anyway. And I was like, me. And so I was like the first when they first kind of came up with an idea for this. And then they didn't really do much about it. And then when I came on board, I'm like, we're gonna blow this up, and we're gonna call it the Alignable Alliance Ambassador Program. And so that's when I started that. I was like, I'm all in, and I know people like Tanya and Damien are gonna raise their hand and go and know about it. And because we're kind of on this thing of helping others, it's kind of interesting because I don't know, Tanya, what would you tell someone that wants to, they're like, yeah, I'll be, oh no, you have one too. Oh, a kid. No, my God.
I just
Give it to me.
she just showed up to my house, walked into my yard, and there was an adventure trying to catch her, and I tricked her into walking into the house, and then it's been a bonding thing. And I saw Chuck bring his kitty, so I said, you know what, she's walking around me and meowing. I said, let me grab her and introduce you to
It's for the
future
meowing
company
folks,
mascot.
right.
Oh
Her name's
my
Soshi.
God, I'm gonna die here. Oh, you're killing me. I have to, here, we're getting off on a crazy tangent, but my kitty that I had for 17 years that passed away a couple years ago, he went in my motorhome. We went all over the place, my baby Zinni. And everywhere I go, including the RV park I'm in now, there's always a black cat walking around. And I know he's haunting me. I know it is.
Well, he's
He's
just saying hi. He's just saying
everywhere,
hi.
everywhere I'm at. Okay, so let's get back to our thing here. We're all ADD. We get distracted with kitties. Um, okay, so here's the thing. What would you say, Tanya, to someone that says, oh, I think I might want to do this ambassador program, and then they find out you need to be a premium member to do that. You have to actually know how to use Alignable. You have to host events every month. You have to be active on the platform. You got to do all of these things, and people go, and I'm not getting paid for that. What would you say to that?
It's gonna end up paying you to do it. I mean, you can't not do it, honestly. It's so worth it. Number one, if you are all about helping people, what you get out of it is worth the dollars, and the connections that you're going to get, the referrals that you're going to get, it's going to pay for itself, in my opinion, if you do things right. Jason Integrity, I don't know if he's on here. He's not one I admitted in. I don't know if you did or not, but you can't be a goofball on here, as he would say. If as long as you do things right, it's going to pay off for you. And so, in my opinion, it's very low dollars to pay to get what you get out of this platform, whether you're an ambassador or whether you're a group leader, either or even if you have the free. I'll just make another comment about this. I mean, I tell people everywhere I go, it's a pay to play. Don't do free. But if you have free, you've got to get involved in order to get a return. You have to.
Oh my gosh. Damien, do you have anything more to say about that? Because I would love to hear your
Yeah, well, see, here's the thing: is that when I one of the reasons why I became an ambassador outside of Alignable, before I became an ambassador on Alignable, is because one of the things that when I first started networking, when I went in business on my own, period, I was working at a gym. People knew me. I didn't have to prospect, nothing like that. I would get referrals. The staff loved me. It was easy to get business, right? But I quit very, like, let's just call it cold turkey. They gave me some ultimatums. I didn't agree with them. I said, I love what I do, but not who I'm doing it for. It's time for a divorce, and so I left. But the one thing I didn't realize that it didn't dawn on me is I said, okay, I'm going to go on business on my own, and all these clients are going to follow me. And sure enough, and we're talking about 2008. This is when the economy crashed, right? So I'm going into business as the economy is about to fall apart. And so the cool thing about that time was it's and excuse the way I describe it, but this is, I think, the best way to describe it. During that time, it's like somebody stabbed me in the neck. I'm bleeding to death, but I can still figure out how to keep myself afloat, right, and alive. But when COVID happened, it was like instant decapitation. I couldn't go see any of my clients, and I'm like, wow, we've been through this, but this was like instant death. But the lesson that I learned during that time from 2008 is that nobody knew me, and how was I going to get people to know me, right? And when I saw that guy, standing on that stage calling himself an ambassador, and again I go back to there was something about him that they saw in him, that they felt that he was a good person to represent the organization. And I had no clue what to do when I was networking, because you have to break all the rules when you network in person. You have to interrupt people that are talking. You have to be nice about it, of course, right? You have to interrupt people that are eating, because if you don't, nobody's going to talk to you. And that's the thing. That's the truth here on Alignable, is if you don't reach out and talk to people, you're not going to get as much conversations going. And anything in business it's a numbers game. Is how many people do you reach, right? And so becoming an ambassador became a no-brainer, because in the end, I'm trying to help the people that were me in the beginning when I started my business. I had no clue how to network. I didn't even know how to reach out for business. Facebook and all this stuff was barely starting to exist at that time. It wasn't where it is today. And I was like, okay, if I can be ambassador here on Alignable, there's nobody having events in my area. The chamber's struggling. Why are they not attracting those people back? And so this is an alternative to say, okay, this is not the Chamber of Commerce. If there's something about the organizations in your local communities that you're not happy about, but you want an opportunity to be able to network with people within your community, let me start that something, and then let me guide those people that need the guidance I needed when I first started networking, so that they don't look like that person that's lost in the corner of the networking room. So yeah.
I love it. Okay, Chuck, what's the next question for these two?
That's a heck of an answer. Yeah,
amazing.
You answered 17 questions I had. That's how I answer questions too. I love it. No, you told the whole story, which is terrific. So, but what about the way you network on Alignable though? Because the way you have to network on Alignable really is counterintuitive for people who are, like at the chamber networking, right? And some others. Talk to me about that, Tanya.
So networking, I mean, this may be shocking to some people, but in order to really network, you've got to clear your calendar. And so, not too long ago, I had a really serious conversation with myself, because I told you earlier, I was doing about 80% of my revenue on here. And now
Right.
I'm having to build that back up, because,
Right.
it was very important to me to spend time with my dad before he passed away. And then I
Right.
was like, okay, it's time to get serious again. What do I have to do? And so I had to really think about my schedule and what was important to me. And so networking is honestly the best way to do it. And so I was like, I know that high achievers spend 60% of their time on revenue producing activity. So I was like, I need to figure out how to clear my schedule to have 60% of my week on platforms. So I was like, which platform is going to pay me the best dividend? And so Alignable is the networking platform, in my opinion. So I was like, I've got to go find the right groups, the right masterminds, and spend my time where my people are. And so I'm literally doing about 14 events a week, whether that's on Alignable and in person in my town, in my local town. And so I had to make a decision though. Who am I going to get to help me in my business? So I literally, Chuck, restructured my entire business around spending 60% of my time. Did I have to make decisions and restructure my whole thing? Yes, I did. But I got serious about networking and what groups I wanted to spend my time on. And I decided I have one group, but I decided I wanted more groups. I want to impact more people. And I want to help more people be successful because that's the environment I came from. You know,
Yep.
my role was to help other people get promoted and train. And that's what I feed off of. And so, you know, that's how I network. In my alliance, I do 6 events. No, 4. Yeah, I do 6 events a month in my own alliance.
Do you run?
So, yeah. And then I just took on 2 groups and I will be doing, I'm sorry.
Which groups do you run on Alignable?
So I'm doing all things business growth and planning and
Nice.
perfecting customer service.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
And so I'll be running events in those. But network, and get in events. And when I look at my analytics, that's where my profile views are coming from, is from group discussions and events.
That's amazing. How about you, Damien? Like, what do you run any other groups besides your alliance?
No, but it might happen. But I'm actually
talking to Tanya. Yeah.
But actually, what I'm thinking of doing is maybe start having 2 different options, one morning one and one lunch hour one, like I've been doing, and see, you know, where I'm getting more people showing up. Because one of the things that's true, you know, this is one of the things I really love about Alignable, right? And I always point out this to people is Alignable, LinkedIn, and all these social platforms, they all have their pros and their cons, right? But the one thing I had to say that LinkedIn really dropped the ball is that they didn't, during COVID, they didn't push for people to create these networking events, right? They talk about these things that you could do if you actually pay attention to their newsletters. But the thing is, the amount of possibilities of events that you could attend on Alignable is enormous. So there's like, if anybody tells me they're not generating business on Alignable, that tells me that, you know, they're not doing the things that Tanya or I are doing. You know, you have to find something that's going to work for you. So if you're a morning person, lunch hour person, evening person, it doesn't matter. There's an event every single day, you know, during the week, in the morning, during lunch hour, in the gaps between, you know, the morning and because I see some events are 7 a.m., some are 10 a.m., some of them are 7 p.m. So it doesn't matter. Like if you're not experiencing any success and you're not generating any, you know, business out of Alignable, my suggestion is pick blocks and join a bunch of different groups that make sense. Like one of them that which is one of the original ones that I joined was Ask SMBs Anything, right?
Right.
That's a huge group, right? And then it only made sense to join the LA one because I'm in LA. And so look for groups that are local, but then also look for groups that don't have names in particular of a city, but are similar to like Ask SMBs Anything, or there's one that's for LGBTQ. So like there is a place for everybody to network. It's a very inclusive platform. And, you know, the fact that Alignable really pushes these events out, like it's a no-brainer, and that's how you're going to get business, you know. And but it's very important to make sure you don't make these 2 mistakes. Don't bombard your feed with a bunch of sales promotions, because everybody's going to just scroll right. You know what they call doom scrolling? That's what they're doing to your posts. Share something valuable that they can absorb, that they can learn from, that they can apply, even if they did it for free on their own. Because in the end, if they see the value and they actually really need what you offer, they're going to come to you. And then the other thing too is whatever you do, don't pitch that people in a connection request or after they accept your connection request. Focus on building a relationship, trying to get to know who they are, what their business does, a little bit about their, their personal life. Like I got my little kitten, right? That's an example. So me and Chuck started the cat trend here.
We did.
I know.
Crazy cat guys. Yeah.
We should have an event. Let's have a networking event for anyone that owns a cat, except I have
so yeah, that's my advice is
borrow one.
Focus on relationship building and get yourself a cat.
That's okay. So you know what? That is actually good advice for here.
Joe says meow in the chat.
But here's the thing, like you guys I hope everyone in this room is really sucking this in and really hearing what they're talking about. I want to make sure if you have to, I'm going to post the replay, go back and listen to what they said again, because I think we have a theme going here. Building relationships, showing up, helping other people. Those are all, I can't tell you how many, Chuck, we've interviewed a lot of people, okay, between the two of us. And do we not hear that similar thread?
We do, but the way they added the spices they added to this stew, were again very, very insightful. I think the other thing you want to, go ahead, Tanya.
I was just going to say the other thing in building the relationships that has been extremely successful, and I love multiple streams of income, and I've added that to my business, and I try to tell almost everyone that I do network with that we should be building multiple streams of income because we never know when one stream is going to be gone.
Right.
So when I talk to people and I see these coming to me every day, multiple times a day, I want to, I send it too. I want to learn more about you. I want to learn more about your business, and I want to see how we can work together. But when you send that message, what are you really saying there? Are you saying that you want to know more about me? You want to know about my business? And are you truly wanting to build a collaboration and a partnership? Or what does that really mean? And so really understand what you want to do when you get on the phone with me, because I showed Annette, I let her in earlier, and I said, Annette, let me show you my calendar, because I've had to reschedule with her a couple of times. I said, let me show you what my calendar looks like over the next 2 weeks. I'm like 3 weeks out now booking with people. So now I'm saying, I really need to get strategic on whom I'm letting on my calendar. And so now I'm like, do I need to build an event that just says, ask me anything, so that I can let multiple people come and ask me questions so that I'm not having all these 30-minute sessions? So here's what I'm saying is, when you really want to find out about somebody, ask yourself, is this somebody that I want to collaborate in a partnership with? And when I say that is, do you want to refer people to me and me pay you a commission back for sending me a referral? If not, you probably don't want to build a partnership or a collaboration with me. If you want to know more about me, come to my Smart Connect, come to my whatever event, because you can learn more about me in that. But if you want to truly build something with me, then that's when you need to get on a one-to-one with somebody. There's people all over this platform that are paying people commissions for sending them partnerships. I have several that if I send them a referral, I'll give you $100. I'll give you 50%. I'll give you whatever. Build yourself multiple streams of income and keep those in a spreadsheet. Keep them in your CRM, keep them in whatever. You can build a big business just by doing that. So know what you're saying when you're saying, I want to know more about you. I want to know more about your business, and see if your synergies are working together when you're doing these Smart Connects in these 7-minute conversations, these icebreakers. Joe Moore does phenomenal. He and Molly do phenomenal smart connects that help you see if your synergies are going to work together. And then say, hey, marketing company, I want to add you with my other marketing company. So when I'm talking to somebody, I can say, I have 4 marketing companies that I've partnered with. Let me get you on the phone or give you all 4 contacts, and you contact them and see which one would be the best fit for you. And then when they do business together, that marketing company comes back and says, Tanya, thank you for that referral. Here's your $100. That's what you need to be building on this platform.
Right. That's great. And I have I do affiliate marketing type stuff too. However, I just want to make sure, and I'm sure you're going to agree with me, Tanya and Damien, I want to hear from you. Here's what happens though. I will get a message. Someone connects with me. They say nothing other than, hey, if you refer my business, I'm going to pay you $100. You want to make some money and refer me all the time? And there's no way in hell I'm going to, that I'm going to do that, because they did not reach out to me to build a relationship first. So that is a big thing for me, because a lot of people do that. A lot of people.
Yeah, no, not that at all. No, when I do this with people, I've not just met them one time. I have built a true business relationship with this person.
Thank you. Okay, cool. Let's hear from Damien. What do you have to say? Because you look like you wanted to jump in there.
Well, I get bombarded by that a lot on a lot of platforms, right? Including here on Alignable, where people will say, "Hey, I'll give I'll give you a cut," or come join my team, or we have this program, and then first thing that comes to mind is, I don't even know you. Why would I want to refer business to you? And if that's the way you're gonna come approach the people that I know in my network, if that's the way you're going to approach them, I don't want you to know my network, right? Yeah. So you're automatically, depending on how bad they do it, generally at first I might give them a warning, just in a nice way, let them know, you know what, would you mind if I taught you a better way to do this, right? And see if they're open to that feedback. If they don't reply, I block them.
Go through that and come back around and then come back up.
Whoever's there, please mute yourself, because we heard you.
I got it.
So I always reward people for referring me, but that's not the first thing I bring up in a conversation. After we've had a conversation and they've gotten to know what I offer, they might not be. And this is the thing I always say is, don't dismiss people. Always be willing to get to know people, because sometimes I know there are some people that are not willing to get to know you if they don't feel that you could add value to them. But here's the problem, is that they don't know who I know, right? And so they dismiss me. Okay, life goes on, So I try not to be dismissive, but if you come and you pitch at me right away with, I'll write you this check, I'm not going to give it a thought. And for me, it's like, get to know me first. Get to trust me, get to like me, because that's what I want to know. That's what I want to do with you. I want to get to know, like, and trust you. And I want to feel confident that if I refer you, that you're going to do a great job with that person. And that's how I'm willing to refer. And if you want to give me a commission for that, great. If not, life goes on, but I will give you a percentage of my profits if you send a referral my way that becomes, and for me, it's an ongoing profit. If you, for as long as they stay on my books, you're gonna get paid a commission. That's how mine's is. But sometimes I come across people that say, well, I really don't care for the commission. I don't need that, this and that. That's fine. Is there a nonprofit that you would like me to donate that money on your behalf, right? And you tell me who that nonprofit is, I'll give that 10% cut to that nonprofit every single month until that client, falls off the books, if they ever fall off the books.
Love it. So I just want to make sure everybody's hearing, don't pitch people right away before you build that relationships. Right. Okay. What you do after that, whatever you do, but I just want everybody to hear these two, because and I like what you said, Damien, a minute ago. I don't know if this is what you meant, but what's kind of interesting, I get this question a lot, you two, about people that they always ask me, they say, what do you do if I'm in a Smart Connect or someone messages me and automatically pitches me? One of the things, and it sounds like this might be what you do, Damien, sometimes you take the opportunity to say, you know what, let's jump on a one-to-one, because we don't do things like that around here in Alignable. And I'll do that sometimes. You know, I work for Alignable, and let me just give you a little tip. Sometimes people will come across in not a good way. But here's what I've found is a lot of people will say, when you tell them, we don't do that, you don't have to pitch on Alignable. This is a relationship building. This is a place to all the things that you guys have talked about. And you know what happens? A lot of times people will say, oh, thank God I don't have to do that. I do that on Facebook and LinkedIn, all these other places. But they're actually glad that someone took the time to tell them that we don't do things like that around here. And then sometimes it ends up being the best relationship. If you want to take the time, like Tanya, you say, let's help people. If we all every person in this room, which is like 61 people in this room, if we would just, every time someone does that, if we would just take the time to set up some time and talk to them and say, this is what we do on Alignable, and start helping people, what would this be? It would like 100x the kind of people we have on here, right?
Yeah.
So I'll just comment to that. When I receive them, I will comment back to them and tell them we don't do that on Alignable. But I also will screenshot that and black out who the person is, and then I will post it in my local group, and then I educate my local group. We don't post like this. And then I'll show them exactly how I will reply, because I do see that so much. And so I try to use that as educational material to let others know that we don't do it, to be proactive.
Yeah, someone in the chat just wrote, some people are also very pushy on Smart Connects. They want to schedule calendar time, you know, and all that getting to know you stuff is missed. And you can report people. And I'm just going to tell you guys that just recently someone reached out and said, hey, you know, I met this person and they're wondering why they can't do anything on Alignable, and all this stuff is happening with their account and they're not getting replied to. And the member success team did the research, and it was a person that got reported over and over and over again for spamming and upsetting a lot of our members. And so they don't get to really do anything on Alignable when you do that. So just don't do that.
Yeah, I recently had somebody send me a connection request, and I swear I thought I was reading like a full biography. Like, okay, this is your whole book here. I was like, sorry, I'm not gonna take the time to read that whole thing. Like,
No. Oh God.
you know, it's just crazy.
But again, though, folks, you know, a lot of times people just don't know that that's not the thing to do.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if they came from a sales organization before they became entrepreneurs, or they're in a sales organization here. You know, they don't know, oh gosh, that's yeah, sorry, I didn't know. And you know what? I think, as Tanya was saying, sometimes those are the people when you're like, no, 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 you got to do it this way. You need to build the trust. You need to build the kindness. You need to build all of that. Then you'll see things happen. I mean, Sue, you have a great example with a guy out in California who we know and love. You know, where he came in gangbusters. I'm going to be telling you this thing, whatever. Now he's one of our best ambassadors, and he'll tell the story. And he just needed someone to say, that's not going to work for you here.
And one of the things too, I like to ask him is, I'm just curious, how effective have you found this approach for you? You know,
that's a great one.
Because I know that if they're being honest, they're gonna say it's not doing anything. They're wondering why somebody's not saying, yeah, I'll buy whatever that is that you're offering.
You know, it's funny. We just did an event with Jason Integrity, and I loved, Tanya, you put in there the goofball behavior. All these things we're talking about, he calls it the goofball. Don't be a goofball. But Yeah, we just did an event on that, and so that's just super interesting. I don't know. It is how many people are actually getting business by doing that? Really none. And it's funny, we did the event and it was called I'm not getting any customers on Alignable. Now what? And I see that in, if people do reviews on Alignable, sometimes like I was going through the reviews and I go through my people that post are like, I'm not getting one customer on Alignable, I'm leaving. That's terrible. And I'm like, are you doing all the stuff Damien and Tanya are talking about right now? Because no wonder you're not. If you're doing the goofball stuff.
And does your profile look suspect or does it look legit? Because there was a period of time where I was getting a bunch of connection requests, and these were like I don't know, they were bots or what they were, but they had no connections, there was no background banner, there was no image, there was hardly any information, and all of a sudden all these requests are coming in, and I'm looking at them, and I accepted them, left them alone. Then I went back to look to see if anything had happened with that, and then once I started realizing, okay, something's going on here, but you might be legit, but if your profile doesn't look like you're legit, you might look like you're suspect. So work on that profile. Today's homework. Get it done
That's
today.
a big thing.
It
That's
is.
a big thing.
Yeah, what are
Yeah,
some
make
other
that
tips?
profile look great.
Let's get some other tips. What do you think? I think I'd like to hear. We only have like
more tips, more tips.
more tips. Go ahead. Either one of you. Jump in. Tanya, what's your tip for a brand new person that might be in the room right now?
So very clear banner, very clear profile, and make it professional. You've got to look professional on that profile. Another one would be, and you guys may have, you may have an answer for this, but when I'm looking at people, if they have their business name in there versus their name, oftentimes I don't know their business name, I can't find them. So for what I did was I put my name / my business name because of that problem. So I would highly recommend putting your name / your business name if you enrolled in Alignable using your business name.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Actually,
and your photo and a pretty recent photo. I mean, it can be a couple years old, but so that people can recognize you.
I always say that in all my events, not your online dating picture from 20 years ago that doesn't look like you anymore.
20 years ago is pushing it, but
no, I've seen people do that. It's like, yeah. Anyway.
It is, because whenever somebody wants to do a one-on-one with me, if I don't recall them immediately from being in a Smart Connect with them, I go look at all of that information prior to getting on the call with them because I want to be prepared. And then, like Damien said, if the profile's not fully filled out, I'm a little sketchy about getting on the call with them.
Yeah. And if they have their 18-year-old picture up there and they're 78, that's also a problem. So
yes.
And then here's a very simple thing that everybody should do, especially if you're new or you just haven't done anything with your profile. Is Sue holds this event called you're on Alignable, now what? Very obvious question, right? You're on it, now what do you do with it? So that's one. And then there's also Alignable University, where you can learn anything and everything that you need to learn about Alignable, so that you can learn what everything from prospecting to how to set up your profile so that everything looks great. So that, because the number one thing, and this is going to what I do on LinkedIn, is I tell people my objective is to make you look like the go-to person your prospects should be doing business with. So my advice to you is your Alignable profile, make it look like that go-to business people should be doing business with. Make it stand out.
Love it.
Another tip I would mention, this goes to free versus premium plus. I've had people say to me, I don't have any more, I'm free, I don't have any more connections. Do you mind to connect with me? Mm-hmm. I don't mind connecting with people, but I will tell you from somebody who is a paid member, who is a coach, a consultant, maybe deals with high ticket clients, and somebody says, I'm on free and I don't have any connections, will you connect with me? The mindset of somebody is like, and they tell you they want to connect with you. The mindset of somebody like me is, do I really want to connect or even attempt to do business with this person? Because they, number one, they can't afford me. So the perception, and it's nothing bad about the person, but it makes you wonder, why are they on here for free? What are they trying to get for free? It's just a perception thing. So you're on here to make money. Think about your business and what other tools you have. What can you give up to pay for such a phenomenal platform that's going to make you money? I say that to say, really think about what you can get from this platform if you take the time and the energy to engage in post. I know that sometimes there's crickets in these groups, and I'm really trying to grow my groups. I put posts out every single day and there's crickets. Why is there crickets when I'm looking at my analytics and I'm like, people, they're probably not engaging, but they're coming and looking at my profile. What's the reason for that? We should be posting on here like we do Facebook. You know, this is our network.
Right.
This is where we should be engaging and trying to build relationships with people. But I'm like, why are people on here for free when you're trying to make money? So, but the perception of somebody that is wants, that are all here to impact people, why are we trying to do it for free when business is not free? So I just throw that out there to say, think about your business and think about what other tool can you give up. We all have tools that we're not monetizing and using. Can you forfeit that tool to pay a little bit more money to be on this platform where there's people that can truly help you grow your business and make money here? Then go back up and pick up that tool or a better tool. Joe Moore can tell you what all kinds of tools are on AppSumo that you can get cheap.
Can I compliment that, Tanya? Regarding the free for paid version. For those that are of you that are here free, if you are on here today and you're free, it's good that you're here. It's a good start, and it's a great way to start creating that visibility. But like I was saying earlier, make sure that you take the time today to fill out everything on your platform about yourself, and highlight the things that you want your prospects to know about you, because that's how you could solve their pains, right? So that if they're your ideal customer, as you're adding this information, Alignable is letting people know that you've updated your profile, that you've added a new service. So take advantage of that, because that's free, right? But then also keep in mind, and when some people have told me that um, they just don't have the budget to become a paid member. And going back to what Tanya says, well, what can I give up so that I become a paid member? Because in the end, think of, if I going back to my original story, right? The first client that I closed was based out of Canada. Day one, I was in profit, right? So if you just land one client per month, you're gonna get that. It's what, $40, Sue, for the regular
level, yeah, between $23 a month to whatever, 49.
Depends
Right.
if you get the yearly
40, something like
plan
that.
versus the other.
Yeah,
No, but
I don't
they're
know the price
so
price
affordable.
off the top of my head, because it just comes out of my account. I don't even bother looking at it.
It's also, you can write it off too.
That's
That
right.
too. It's a marketing expense. So you could write this off as a marketing expense, so it's a tax write-off. So just think of it. If I just land, if I'm able to connect with more people today because I made that paid membership, I took that gamble, and I'm able to land just one client, I got an immediate return on investment. I got what I paid out, plus I'm now in profit mode. And some of you might have really low ticket priced items, like it may be something $9.99 subscription or whatever the case may be. But in the end, if you're being able to get somebody who's signing up for something for $9.99 a month, and you get 4 customers, you're in profit mode. So think of it as you can attend you can attend more networking events, which means gives you more opportunities to connect with more people. And so if cost is a factor, look for all the groups that have the highest attendance numbers showing up as in terms of how many people registered for that event, because then that means the likelihood that you're going to meet somebody new is there, and then it's a no-brainer.
Oh my God. I could talk to you
One
guys
other
for a whole
thing.
year. We have 2 minutes.
We've got 2 minutes. So one thing I wanted to highlight in this though is that, and Elise brings it up here in the conversation, and it's a good one, is sometimes people just want to try the free so they can get the lay of the land, figure out, is this a platform that's going to work for me? Get to know some people, do a bunch of smart connects, all of that. But what I hear over and over from people, and this is through the contest too, is I hear that they're like, I'm really only going to work with people who are premium because they are established and they are committed to their business and would be a good partner for me there. That's what I hear a lot. And again, that's not something that I would tell people necessarily, but I do hear it a lot, and I hear it as more people are building more business here too.
100%.
Yeah, and here's the thing, Chuck. That I want to add to that is that for me, it's like my primary target market. They're small business owners, 10 all the way to solopreneur, because I know they're the ones that have the biggest challenges. And if I can find a way to help them, even if it's not by them hiring me for my services, if I can find a way to help them so that they can actually start landing some business, then I've done my job, even if they didn't pay me anything. And sometimes I tell people I have this done for you service, and I have this done with you service, and maybe we need to start off with the done with you version so that we can work together, so you actually understand the work that I'm putting in to help you grow your business. And then when you can afford to pay me that higher premium and say, you know what, Damien, I really enjoyed the experience. I really understand now everything that you have to do to accomplish this for me. But now I got the capital. Now I don't want to keep doing this. You get me the clients. Done.
Yeah.
I love this, and we are at time, but I want to add a couple more things for those of you who are sticking around. I appreciate you two so much. In fact, I'm going to reach out to the two of
Me
you.
too.
Someone in the chat actually said we need more of this, so maybe the two of you would like to do an event with me in the Alignable Insider community. I did post in the chat. For those of you guys that don't know, we have a fairly new group called the Alignable Insider Community, and it's for paid members on Alignable. You can be on any of the paid plans, the verified premium or premium plus, and we do special masterminds, doing a special mastermind tomorrow, only for those members in there. You get free Alignable help with Kathy, who works for Alignable every Tuesday. It's called Office Hours. You can ask anything directly with someone on the team. We have Smart Connects. By the way, we need some people to run those Smart Connects in that group if either of you want to do that. And we bring on industry experts to teach more high-level things. Like last week, I taught how to write a book and become a best-selling author overnight, like I did. Chuck did one on PR, which he's going to do another one of those. Maybe I'm thinking the two of you might want to do some things too with some of your expertise. And oh, one more thing I got to tell you about. I forgot. I'm so excited. We are starting Alina Talks. Did you see that? Alina Talks. So you can actually sign up if you're in that group to do a 5-minute talk. You can talk about your business, something inspirational. It can be like a
Your
TED Talk.
cat, right.
Yeah, cats. There we go, Damien. We're putting you on the list to talk about your kitty cat. Anyway, Chuck, you could do it on cats. So that's only again in the Alignable Insider community. Join that group. I'm telling you guys, we're having a ball in there. So thank you. Anything else, Chuck, before we sign off? We're late.
Honestly, such a good conversation,
Oh,
such a great crowd. Thank you all for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it, and come back, see us regularly, okay? We're usually here, same time, same place, but check for us.
Yes,
Yeah.
by the way, next week is canceled because we have lots of announcements. Next week is Small Business Week, and there's going to be, this is brand new. They are setting up Sphere, they're calling it, what is it? Marketing
Networking spheres, more or
Networking
less.
spheres, yes. So you're going to be able to join Smart Connects with other people that would be your referral partners. Like if you're in health and wellness, you'll get to network in Smart Connects only with people in the health and wellness industry or the marketing industry or the construction industry. Oh, did I lose? I think my internet
Froze a little bit, but I think we heard it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I got my Starlink hooked up. Anyway, all right. We'll see you guys.
I think we're good. Thanks,
right.
everyone. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you soon.
And thanks for the opportunity, Chuck. And
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yes,
You
thank
two were
you.
terrific.
We're
Thank you.
Thank you.
amazing. Amazing. Thank you. Bye.